In a city known for rain, protests, and broken glass, another line just got crossed. This week, in Seattle, a group of religious volunteers set up near a public park, not to preach hellfire, not to condemn, but to give. Food for the hungry, bicycles for kids, prayer for anyone who wanted it. No pressure, no politics. That's when they came.
Today was a very good example of two sides of people trying to be heard. On one side, I saw a lot of hatred. These people that tell us they love us are showing us the opposite.
She's dressed like a rabbit with a slit eye thing. I don't really get that, but...
An Antifa-aligned crowd, dressed in black, faces covered, full of rage, stormed the peaceful setup. They screamed, they shoved, they tore signs. Some volunteers were hit, others retreated, and the message was loud and clear. You're not welcome here unless you think like us.
Are Christians welcome in Seattle, in your view, to publicly express their views if they're traditionally held?
No, clearly not. And in fact, the mayor put that in his statement. He said in the future, he is going to deny religious groups the ability to pull permits to hold similar worship-themed events in public places.
Well,
which
he
is,
said
by
he's
the
a
way,
Christian.
now...
What happened next? The mayor of Seattle, in a stunning public statement, condemned not the violent group, but the religious volunteers. He accused them of spreading hate. No proof, no specifics, just an assumption, because they were people of faith. Ask yourself, who brought the aggression? Who threw the first punch? Who tried to shut someone down for feeding the hungry and helping kids? When did kindness become hate? When did wearing a cross make you the villain, while wearing a mask to beat someone down makes you a hero? This isn't just about Seattle. It's a snapshot of a bigger war, not left versus right, but right versus wrong. A war on values, a war on truth. And every time leaders side with the mob, they give it more power and less room for peace.
Welcome to what it means to be a real Christian.
A religious rally ends in clashes between counter-protesters and police.
So, listen real close. I know there's a lot going on. Just look at the stage real quick. We got people that's going to handle it. We praise God for the police department.
23 arrests later, leaders in Seattle's queer community are livid.
So what you're going to put an anti-queer group that tries to do conversion therapy with people in the middle of Cal Anderson Park, named after the first openly gay legislator in Washington state history.
The city's Parks and Recreation Department authorized the religious group to demonstrate here.
I think the mayor owes the queer community an apology.
Now, police in Seattle are echoing these concerns, saying, quote, "What we are struggling to understand is, why was this park chosen and authorized? This city decision, as naive or deliberate as it was, put police officers in an untenable predicament." Seattle's Parks Department responded to the criticism, saying, quote, "We are required to enable the expression of free speech throughout the park system. As the park was available and met the size and logistical needs for the event requested, the permit was granted." Meantime, 8 of the people arrested in Saturday's protest were in court Monday, all accused of assaulting officers.
The city had ample opportunity to divert.
People like Austin Ryu rallied outside the courthouse to call for
charges being dropped altogether.
Mayor Bruce Harrell says he's directing the Parks Department to review if there were any other locations for the rally, adding it was, quote, "held here for this very reason, to provoke a reaction by promoting beliefs that are inherently opposed to our city's values." And in response to what you just heard from the mayor, the group who held the religious demonstration is now planning another rally outside City Hall at 5 p.m. tomorrow to demand an apology from Harrell for his, quote, "disgusting comments aimed at bringing harm to the faith community," end quote. King 5 is working to learn whether a counter-protest for that is in the works. I'm Maddie White, King 5 News.
So here's the question. If feeding someone, praying for someone, loving your neighbor is now hate speech, then what do we call the ones who showed up with fists? This is what happens when the truth is painted as violence and violence is painted as justice. Stay sharp, stay bold. This wall don't lie. You're watching The Filthy Wall.